So it tells me we're now live. Hopefully we're now live. Welcome everybody. Welcome Anne. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I'm really excited about this. I love being able to just have a conversation and share our friend Anne Duffy with our community. I think probably many of our, let's see, it says due to Facebook restrictions, we can't see the name of profile. It's like all of a sudden Be Live gave me some information here. So I'm just going
Great.
out of that. I'm like, I don't know why. But well, we just wanted to have a little chat, and I'm sure pretty much everybody already knows Anne, but just wanted to ask Anne on today to be able to share a little bit more about what she's doing. She's got some exciting things coming up, and just to make sure that everybody in our organization understands how they can interact and work with you. I think there's some great opportunities for the speakers, and so really want to get to that. But before we do, could you just give us like a thumbnail, like the 2-minute version of like why dental, why publishing, like how did you get where you are? Give us a little thumbnail.
Well, I think most of it is because of circumstance. I didn't have this big plan, but I'm a dental hygienist and graduated from Ohio State, married my college sweetheart. We moved all over the United States. I took 6 state boards. It never occurred to me not to take a state board and work in the area that I was in. And so I love that. Great experience in dental hygiene, and moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, and it was our last stop, 3 kids in tow.
Oh,
And I got involved with OxyFresh as selling toothpaste and mouth rinse, and all because of my patient that was the president of the Sjogren's Institute in Charlotte, and she was looking for an alcohol-free rinse. So I got my chops, honestly, Vanessa, in leadership and personal development through that company. The company is dead to me now. The products are still good, but they kind of fell apart from a networking standpoint. But through that, I met a gentleman that was starting a magazine called Dental Entrepreneur. We met at a trade show. He saw something in me and he said, "Hey, would you come on board and sell advertising for us?" And I said, "Sure." And because he wanted to fly me out to San Francisco for the ADA. And this was 20 some odd years ago when the ADA was in San Francisco. So that was exciting. I came on board. We were successful right away. I had a real love for the young dentist, especially working in 6 different practices, or 6 different states, I should say, in numerous practices. And I bought it from him 3 years later because he was a journalist and had no passion for the dental industry. So, how hard could that be? Sure, I'll buy it from you and I'll just publish it myself. So that's how I got involved in publishing. And at one point, I was working 2 days a week, taking the kids to all their soccer and basketball and whatever programs they were going to, selling advertising for Dental Entrepreneur, and building the largest team of female dental professionals in OxyFresh. So I had a lot going on.
Yeah, you did.
You might say I was a dental entrepreneur woman, spinning a lot of plates. And then I came upon, knowing so many different women, especially in different career paths of dentistry, through authors, through marketing, through speaking, leadership, all of that sort of stuff. And in the clinical aspect, because I still do work a half day a week. I'm still in the trenches. And knowing, all these women, one of my dear friends was being belittled and berated in her 2-year review. And I was outraged. I hung the phone up that afternoon. I said, darn it, I'm going to start a magazine to highlight women in dentistry. And that's pretty much brought me where I'm at today.
Oh,
pretty
I
easy.
love that. Thank you for that. I mean, you've done so much in dental, and I can see where it's at your core. You're such an empowering person. You love to help lift others up. I know that to be true about you, and I know that so many of our dental colleagues who know you know that to be true. And by the way, we need to give a shout out to Kelly and Alex and Monica that are watching. Thank you guys for giving us a shout out here as a hello. And if you're watching here, please let us know you're here and say hello to Anne. Dental Entrepreneur woman is really a movement. Like people can say, oh, I want to create a community or I want to create a movement, but then like actually doing it, what as I've watched do grow over the last couple of years, and it's been 3 years now.
Yeah.
Right. Wow, that's amazing. So over the last 3 years, I mean, it has just naturally gained momentum. I'm sure you've had a lot of work too, but what it feels to me like on the outside is it feels like it exploded. It feels like you just really touched on something that we needed in the industry. And congratulations, and thank you for listening to your heart and your gut around that.
Well, I appreciate it. It's funny because when I hung the phone up that day, I called it Dental Entrepreneur Woman because I wanted a sister publication, and it was an Aaron Brockovich movement on my part. I'm one of 5 siblings. I'm the oldest girl. I've got an older brother. Then there's me, 2 younger brothers and a younger sister. So I'm bossy. There's no doubt about it, and I'm always fighting for the underdog. So I mean that's where I think most of the momentum came from in the very beginning. I was totally outraged and funny because I thought, oh, I just want to highlight women. And then I thought, well, we really need to inspire women and let's empower them too and show them that they want to be empowered, right? Because I think so many women play small. And men too. I mean, I love men, by the way. I've everybody watching men. I'm a big lover of men.
Dudes and dudes, right? Dudes
and the dudes, and we've got dudes. Yes, we do. But I think one of the biggest things that I've loved doing, and this is what I love working with you, Vanessa, because you've been so generous in connecting me, and I'm like connecting all women. We have the same heart for that because when we connect each other, women that don't know each other and men that don't know each other, I mean, that's when the real magic starts to happen. The brainstorming starts to happen. The juices start to flow. So, it's just been, it's actually impacted Dental Entrepreneur as well, because that's opened up. I think you and I met at an SEN meeting in the very beginning, and I think I was just kind of really building up Dental Entrepreneur. And really realized I needed to get out in the community more, meet more people, and I just feel like the people that are in that arena, the speaking and consulting area, they need to be published, right? And I wanted to be that vehicle for them. There's so many people that that I don't know, and then I want to give them a chance and just have their voice. And there's so many different ways to get your voice out there these days.
Yes, I agree. And I think, especially as speakers, one of the ways to be able to be an influencer and to be seen as a key opinion or thought leader would be to be published. And you've always been so generous around offering opportunities to our Jumpstart community, our Dental Speaker Institute community. And what does that look like for both your publications? How does someone approach you to find out if they have an opportunity to write an article and be submitted? What would you ask them to do?
Well, it would be great if they would, follow us, go to the website, see what we're about, go to our Facebook pages, and we're all over the place, Instagram, social media, just to get to know us, and then just reach out to me. I was actually on the phone this morning with somebody that is going to start writing for us, and I have to be on the phone with somebody. So anybody that ever writes for us, it has to be a personal connection, and just reach out, email Ann Duffy at Dental Entrepreneur, Ann Duffy at do.life, and we set up a call to talk. And then it's so funny. I mean, I don't consider myself a journalist or a writer. I'm an arranger. So I like to jump on the phone with an expert, because everyone that that's speaking, they have something they want to speak about, and they have their lane, as we were talking about earlier. Everybody's got a lane. They're the expert. What is on your heart to share with, for instance, Dental Entrepreneur, the young dentist that's in dental school and getting ready to graduate, or those working 10 years or less? What's on your heart that you want to share with them that's going to make them a better businessman or businesswoman serving their profession? Because as we know, and you've met so many young dentists in your career, they don't have time for the business acumen and the education, and they don't have the funds for it. So they get out of dental school, with, upwards of 500,000 in debt, and they have to start a business.
Yeah.
That's mostly why they go into dentistry to begin with. They want to have their own business. They want to serve patients and serve people. So that's anyone that's listening. I'd love to hear your story and have you share your expertise with our readers, our audience. And it's always my pleasure. And I always come away from a conversation with some golden nuggets. It's just wonderful meeting people through that.
I love that. So let's say hello to Sophia and Lois Baker has joined us here. And I don't know if I said hello to Alex with us. Thank you guys for being here and tuning in. Everybody's saying hello to Anne. Anne is such a, I don't know if you know this, but you are beloved in our industry. I mean, there's just so many people that you just have the way you present yourself. You're always so generous and giving, and always it feels like with you, it's always about helping others. And I just admire that so much. But it's clear by those coming in to say hello. They see you're online and want to say hello. And thank you for chiming in here with the hello, guys. So to what I just heard from you was, as far as the Dental Entrepreneur magazine, we're really looking for more of a business focus. And I already in my mind, I'm thinking of some of the people I'm working with that have, financial topics or something that would really have to do with that. So they reach out to you at Ann Duffy at dentalentrepreneur.com was the email associated with that website. And to go there first and get a feel for what you already have out there and what you guys are doing, and make sure it feels like there's a fit. Awesome. So let's turn our attention then to Do. To the website for Do is do.life.
Yes.
And our Dental Entrepreneur Women focus. How's that different than Dental Entrepreneur? Besides, obviously, there's a focus on female entrepreneurs.
Well, and to go back to Dental Entrepreneur, it's about the business, but in a business, it's really about leadership, success, personal development in Dental Entrepreneur. They're they're a little bit similar, only Dental Entrepreneur Woman came about. I wanted something different. I wanted a lifestyle magazine for women in dentistry, because I love Vanity Fair and Real Simple, People magazine, and I love the Wall Street Journal magazine that comes out once a month. I mean, I'm just like, I like my paper. I like my iPhone. I like my tablet. I like my computer. A happy Saturday for me, Vanessa, is on the back porch with all of that spread out and just loving my day and reading and just, getting my information in all different varieties. But I didn't have that in mind when I decided to do Dental Entrepreneur Woman. I wanted a beautiful magazine, something that's kind of yummy that you could, read in the bathtub or take to the beach or slip into your airport backpack. And I wanted it to be more of a lifestyle, because it's honestly, this is it really. I missed working with women and in a leadership capacity, in a broad leadership capacity, which I got through the networking company, because that is all about lifting them up, having them start their own businesses, and inspiring others to do the same thing. So I missed that little piece, and that's filling that little void in me. At this time in my career, I don't have anything to lose. It's always about, I think, others, because we see the need for it, right? So lifestyle with that. I mean, we've had recipes, we've had how to raise your kids, how to get maternity leave. I mean, anything that you're going to read in any of those other magazines, we want to publish. And then also filtering in, of course, something, because we're dental professionals, we're all a little nerdy. And so we want to always have a little takeaway, right? So every article is inspirational, I feel. And I love it's the free. What I've noticed so much with Dental Entrepreneur Woman is how free women feel after they've taken the pen to paper and written their story. Because we all have our stories. And it's so most of what we write about is personal stories and triumph over tragedy, or I've learned this and I want to give it back, or this is what I know. This happened to me, and like me, this might be interesting to you. So
Oh, that's awesome. Can I say, I don't know what it feels like to be a man, right? Like I've lived my whole life as a woman.
yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if men really relate to this the same. And maybe some of our gentlemen that are listening in can chime in. And thank you guys for your comments. Please keep them coming. We thank you so much for your sweet comments here. And you'll have to go back and see all the love here afterwards, Anne.
Oh,
But as a woman, I think you really hit on something for us. Like yes, we love our businesses, we love dentistry, we might love science, we love all that, but then there's this whole other, like, it's kind of like, spirituality, and like there's just all these other dimensions that make us whole, which I'm sure men feel too, but it's something about just the feel of what you've created that is just so delicious for women.
Thank you.
It's just delicious to consume. And it's much more than a magazine. I love the look of your magazine. It's high quality. It's always beautiful. This is so much more than a magazine. I want to get to what the movement is here in just a minute. But before we leave talking about like the magazine and the publishing side of this conversation, I heard you just say that you invite people to talk about themselves and their stories. Is that how we get started? If I wanted to submit an article how do we go about that?
Well, that's basically the same way with Dental Entrepreneur, but this is a little bit more of a journey. I definitely set up a call, and let's get on the phone, jump on the phone. I want to hear how you got where you are. And that's usually with the first story that is submitted from anybody. And that goes into the blog calendar. So we submit those on blogs, and then those get repurposed on all our social media, in our newsletter. So and a part of it is about highlighting, because I want everybody else to get to know you, and there might be some synergy there. And so that's usually the first lick. And then we talk about, and it could be on that call, we brainstorm about, well, what would you like to write an article about? So that's a little bit more of a precise document, so that we'll get a few takeaways. It's not necessarily just your story. It's like, again, could be anywhere from, in the spring edition, we had Manal and Katrina and Jasmine Haley on the cover. But I'm just looking at this. It's just different ideas that you might find that women feel about. Something that I would want to read. And so we just get on the phone, brainstorm, and then usually what happens, Vanessa, it's so funny, they get off the phone, and then I get when I receive the article, it's everything, it's verbatim. I could just really tape the conversation and write it, but I really want it to be in their words with their pen. And the joke is, I tell them, don't sweat over it, get a margarita or a hot cup of tea and let that pen take over. And just write from your heart. And it's just connecting with me. And, I haven't met anybody yet that I didn't think was pretty fantastic. I really like people, and I really like everybody, unless that person doesn't like me. That is, like really? Or if they're not ready to be a do. We've had some people that, you're not quite, and I'm not trying to judge it. I'm trying to, massage them just a little bit, because I've got pillars. I've got certain parameters that we look for. And one of is, as we were talking, no scarcity mentality. So if you've got that mindset, you may not want to join the movement, which we are really growing. And thanks for bringing that up, because it did morph into, every business morphs as you move along, and you see what your audience wants and what you have the ability to give. And so we have morphed into quite the movement. And that, again, went from just highlighting to inspiring, empowering, and connecting. Together, we're so much stronger, and that. Look what's come from the many conversations you and I have had, that we know each other so much better now. And just from being at Jumpstart, I was telling you, I loved that so much, because the synergy in the room was one of giving and generosity. everybody was just, I think I met just about everybody in that room, and everybody was fantastic and just so happy to be there and happy to be together. So someday we're going to do that again, right? Pent up
Oh, we
demand.
are January for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to just point out to everyone who's listening in, the website would be dew.life. And in the main menu, there's a big green box that says join the movement. And so as far as talking about, the movement and the pillars and more about that, I anticipate this would guide us through what to do to learn more about how we can become a part of this community that you're growing, that's so supportive of each other. And we certainly love our dudes, right?
I mean, we do. We've got honorary dudes, and we're going to grow that. We're going to have a dude issue. They want to do a calendar. I'm like, well,
Okay, will there be a calendar? No, just kidding.
I thought we've talked about it, but then we go back. We've had some fun. Let's just put it that way.
I'll keep it professional.
Have some amazing dudes, and oh my gosh, when I think about all the men.
Wonderful. I love that, having a do with DEWD. The first time I saw that DEWD, I thought, oh my gosh, that's so clever, and fun with it. More inclusive, right? Because
yes.
I know you don't mean to single out and keep men separate. It's just that this has grown this way. And what I see for you is something even much bigger, and even ultimately like a next iteration. This is like what I picture for your future down the road, as Dew continues to grow, something even bigger in the industry that's maybe even inclusive of men and women, but it's really built around those same pillars of, you had said, it's, you don't meet people you don't, really, you find that there's so many great people. Mm-hmm. I think that's dentistry in a nutshell. I don't know what it is about this industry, but it attracts the most awesome people. And I tend to like people too. There's very few people I've met that just kind of make you go, Yeah. For most people, it's like they're just fascinating and they're fun and they're unique and they're different. And I think that in my experience, dentistry is just chock full of amazing people.
Oh, well, this is the thing, because I always say that. Okay, so first of all, and again, I like everybody. So, I maybe I'm not the best judge, but in dentistry, they're smart. You can't get through dental school or dental hygiene school or be an assistant or run a front office, work in these companies without being smart. So that's number one. Two, you like beauty, and that's something that's kind of important to me. I love flowers. I love nature, love all that stuff. So I think in dentistry, we have that commonality of appreciation of the beauty in the world and the beauty of what a smile can bring. Yeah. Because a smile, you're restoring somebody's smile. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what that's going to look like with the world, because we're going to have pent up demand of seeing people's smiles when this is all over. We're not going to be wearing masks for the rest of our lives.
Boy, no kidding.
Yes. And so I think that commonality, and they're fun and accomplished, they're driven. There's so many great qualities that you have to get on the other side of your education and in the trenches. You really have to see that we are, if you like what you do in dentistry, there's going to be a lot of commonality. Even when we go to the trade shows, it's just so much fun. It's like old home week. And it seems to be, I don't know if it's just me, but I am out there more now. So the growth of the community and the family is, to me, precious.
Oh, I totally agree with you. I want to thank you guys for your comments here. Welcome, Paul, Sharon, Susan, Cheryl. Thank you guys for your comments. We're so glad you're here, and they're chiming in. We're singing to the choir here.
Oh yeah, it's cool. It is.
Thank you so much for being here, you guys. Okay, so we've chatted about dental entrepreneur and dental entrepreneur women publications. Are both of those online and print?
Well, actually, we just put Dental Entrepreneur on a total digital. Oh. So this was the first issue this spring. We did all digital because our audience is young and they like it on their tablets and whatever. And so printing is really expensive. And it used to be when we first started, back in the day, we would print like I don't know, 20,000 and go in everybody's mailbox at the dental schools. So now we do, because we've been there for so long. We're so lucky that we can get into the perfect person who then says it to the listserv. And then we've also, through organic, we've only grown organically. Some of our partners have big followings in the industry. So that's digital. Dental Entrepreneur Woman is still print, and I want to keep it print as long as I can because I just like that part of it. But as far as the movement and what we've come about is like you can get the print, which is one price, and then if you just went digital, it's another. We're trying to figure that all out because we really want everybody to be able to join. But you and I were talking earlier. We love the philanthropy here of what we're trying to do of growing better speakers in the industry, and I'm trying to bring people together. So we have to figure out how to monetize it just a little bit so that it doesn't come out of our 401ks totally. Because the first year was like, I don't care how much this costs. We are going to make this happen, and we're going to make it big and all of that. And it wasn't me either, Vanessa. It's really the people that join. It's really the people in our industry that make it so special. Yeah. We just happen to be, inviting them to come in.
Yeah. I love that. And I want to just give you my own endorsement, just me as one person, that I like 100% digital would be great to me, because like I mostly read what's on my phone anyway. Yeah. And then the whole earth saving aspect of not killing trees and printing, I mean, and all the cost involved. I applaud you for moving in that direction, because I do think that's the future. Let's make sure we hop around and chat a little bit more about anything upcoming you might want to tell us about in your future for one or the other of these organizations.
Well, Rebecca, who's my handler. I love her. She's my handler. Oh yeah, I have a few handlers actually.
I need handler.
But, yeah, something happened the other day, and I was on the phone. Well, I'm trying to think what day it was. It was Tuesday night. So, I was getting ready for dinner, and then my phone was ringing. I looked down, and it was a friend of mine that I had not talked to for at least 5 years, and I've known her for 20. She's a dental hygienist. She's a very, well-known hygienist in Charlotte, worked for one of the top periodontists, great, work ethic, and had a lot going for her. So she had changed offices recently. She was in consulting and then decided to come back into the clinical because she needed to have those hours that were more precise and not travel. And I could tell in her voice, Vanessa, that she was just, kind of down and out. And she's like, oh my God, how's it going with COVID? And, I said, well, I think I'm doing okay. I'm going back to work next week. But she was in the office, and it was Monday. They did all the COVID. This might be too long of a story, but it just really rocked my world. They were doing the protocol. Then Tuesday was the day they got with patients. So her second patient comes up to the front desk. She brings him up to the front desk, and he takes his mask off. And the gal at the front desk looks at that and said, oh my goodness. And she wrote her up. She wrote my friend, the hygienist, who's like, she's younger than me, but like she's got a great career and loves dentistry, right? Wrote her up for that. And then when she was finishing the day, all the younger coworkers were in the back. I guess they were, celebrating their back to work and drinking some wine, and no one helped her clean her room. And she's, cleaning her home, her room, and, with the new protocols and all that. And she had to leave because of her care. She had to release a caregiver. And so one of the assistants comes running out and says, you left blood on the chair. So she goes running back in, mortified. And there's like, it's as big as a pinhead. And she was just like crushed. She's like, so she cleaned it. She said she was sorry. She got in her car, and that's when she picked the phone up to call me. And she starts crying on the phone. And she said, I have loved dentistry. I love my career. I just don't want to see my career end like this. I've loved every minute, but this is maybe the last office I'm going to be in. And what does that mean for all of us? I mean, that is just, I was like, That is not how we're going back to work. That is not how we work. We work together. We build each other up. We lift each other up. We empower each other and we help each other. And I said, you've got to, you've got a joint due. And she goes, well, I don't even know if I'm going to have a job coming back after being written up twice. And so I said, that's when we decided, okay, so we're doing it. It was kind of spurred the movement on. That's a long, kind of a sad story, but I did reach out to her.
It's our reality right now. I mean, it's a great story because what we're
and
doing right now is hard.
It is hard, and everybody's going to have a different opinion. Everybody's going to have a story.
Yeah.
And I was happy to hear that the day I talked to her yesterday, it was a little bit better day, and she's, calmed down. But you have to, first of all, one of my mantras, call it due, right? Because if you're having a bad day and you're on your way home, call it due. Pick the phone up. And I know that I made her feel better, and she made me feel better, and actually, spurred my heart on to, we're celebrating 3 years with Do Life. So for 3 days in June, we're going to release it. We're going to do 3 days of free subscriptions for the digital, and to join the movement for 3 months, for 3 months, free 3 days to sign up for 3 months of free, just to get a taste of it and just to get what you want out of it. And if you want to continue, great. My goal would be, if you want to continue, you can't afford it, I'll find a way to get you a scholarship for it, because we have a lot of people that we have to pay to run this thing. But I don't want anyone not to feel like they can't be included. And so it makes me really want to, we're going to push this out. So I'm announcing it here. And I hope that's okay for Rebecca.
I love it.
To announce it. So thanks for letting me say that. And that's really on my heart, is to bring people together and to show that there's some place you can go to have a cry or have a success shared, and to have a cheerleader in the background, right? Because so often women, and I do feel like I hear this a lot, that women aren't as good at that as others. And that just even from sports. I mean, a lot of times, and just, men will beat each other on the basketball court. Like, you look at this Michael Jordan thing that I've been watching, and I just love the energy in that production on ESPN, The Last Dance. They can beat each other up on the court, and they can, lose the finals by 1 point, and they still like them and want to, get together for coffee the next day, right? And they still are good friends. And I think sometimes women are a little bit more not as apt to support each other, because it's a little bit more, they're afraid that they're competing, and we're not competing. We have such a long way to go to sit in the front seat. That has been very apparent. And, don't get me started. We started Do before we started the Me Too movement. So, I mean, there's a lot that's come out since we started this, but we aren't sitting in the front seat in so many areas of dentistry. And we don't want to replace men. We just want to join them. We just want to join up there. We want to sit up there in the front seat. And so, together, if we work together and support each other, because look, how crazy is it if somebody's in marketing in one state and somebody's in marketing in another state, and they're going to talk to each other, like each other, because they're both in marketing, and that's like, I'm competing with you. No, let's all work together, and then we'll just get more visibility for all of us. It just makes it's more logical.
A competition in my mind is just like, I have a hard time understanding that at all. Period. Especially when it comes to real life, not sports, but like to real life, because for me, I just don't feel like I'm competing against anyone on the planet. Where I'm competing is in here. Like your own goals. So for me with COVID and what happened, I had a grieving process. I don't normally get angry, but I got angry. I got angry that the economy was pulled out from underneath us. I have goals. I am in motion, man. And I'm trying to grow a business. And, I had to go through this process of letting go and really recognizing that I'm in those stages of grief.
Yes.
And then once I was able to process and put that aside, then now I realized I had to pivot with some good coaching thank you, Mark LeBlanc, for some
Yeah.
great coaching and all my other great coaches out there, that we have to pivot, right? We have to process that, let go of it, but we have to pivot our businesses. And on the backside of this, recognizing that there are so many opportunities, things we're doing now that we wouldn't have otherwise done that are going to be even better. We all have our process, right? But I think it comes back to recognizing that if it's our goals, and if what we're trying to accomplish is really just us trying to be a better person, and it's not trying to beat someone else out, and it's not a comparison in my business to yours, or but to reach out and love and to help each other and support each other. I mean, I think that's where so many answers are. I want to make sure we get through a couple more things too before we have to wrap up. You were telling us with COVID, now you've got, would you mind just, because I took us off in another direction, just one more time, repeat that offer for everybody. Where do they go? How do they take advantage of it? Is it online yet, or will it be?
No, we haven't even released it yet. I just decided to throw that out there. Just be aware it's going to be coming, and it's going to be in June. So you got to really,
June.
you can go to the Dental Entrepreneur Woman Facebook page, and that is, everybody's welcome to that. We have a private Facebook page for those that have joined the movement, but just keep your eyes peeled on that page. But it's going to happen in June. We're going to have 3 days. We have 3 days set aside to be able to join the group, get loved on, get hugged on, from afar. Like you say, the virtual hugs after the grieving process of, and being curled up in a fetal position, we're all coming out of it now, right? And I do think it's going to be better. I think dentistry is going to be better. I saw a great clip by Paul Homily the other day, and I just, he's just a great guy. We go way back too, and I know he works really well with you at the Dental Institute, but Speakers Institute. But there's just, I think dentistry is going to come out really well, and change is good. It's just hard when it happens in the world at one time.
and life,
Mm-hmm.
life is challenging.
Yeah.
We didn't come here for feathered nest, I don't believe. I believe, without diving too deep off into spiritual, those type of beliefs, I feel like, that's kind of the purpose, right? Is to grow. And we have to have those rocks in our path to figure out how to get up and around and over them. And, and the reality is most of us are going to be fine through this. Thank heavens. Most of us are going to be healthy. Most of us still have our wits and our health to be able to turn around and grow our businesses. That my challenge to our listeners is, be sure you are pivoting, because it's not the same world that it was in February. In our businesses, for any of us, it's not the same. But I totally agree with you that we have within us, each of us as entrepreneurs, the ability to see now, what is that new pain point? What is that challenge now that we each as speakers, and many of us also consultants, are already teaching something. We already, whether it be case acceptance or OSHA or dental implants or what, the pain point has still moved, at least to some degree. The challenge that our audiences are facing for all of us is at least somewhat different now. And so our solutions need to pivot. Now would be the time to submit articles on exactly this, for you as our DSI members to be seen as thought leaders, as influencers. Bring it. Right now, dentistry needs your leadership. Many of our group have been online, have been very much bringing solutions. And I just really want to encourage people to continue to do that. Before we have to go, I want to ask you 2 more questions. I would love for you to tell us a little bit more about your retreat. We haven't talked about that at all. What is it? And why would we be interested? And then I'm going to ask you if there's anything we haven't covered that we want to be sure and chat about. So could you start us off by what is the retreat?
Well, thanks for asking. Well, people had asked me a while when we first started this, about a year in, what's your event going to be? And I'm like, I don't know. So we ended up to do a retreat, because what happened is, for me, knowing your own strengths was pivotal in my life. It changed my life. And I always had the dream, we start with the dream. I wanted to bring that to dentistry. And so we thought, well, we'll do a retreat. If we have 12 people, that's going to be great. And, we'll start there. And we sold out 3 times. we had 100. The room would only take 100. And how the last week we had a couple drop out and we just slid people right in there. It was so fabulous. Got so much out of it. And, these are all influencers that came. I mean, it's just bringing women from across the country coming together. And so our focus is always going to be around strengths. I had 2 Gallup coaches come in, and they're coming back again this next year. So that we'll always lead with that, because it was interesting. Only 10 of the 100 people had ever taken the strengths test assessment. So that was interesting to me. So I do feel like we kind of brought something different, and it's a little bit of a different. It's more like, for my goal was for them for us to fall. What it did for me, I wanted to do for everybody. I fell more in love with myself, and if my brothers are watching, like, oh, you've always liked yourself pretty much, Ann. But no, I mean, seriously, I really, really fell in love with myself. I know, brothers. The talents that were God-given, the talents that I had in the womb, that I'm actually living my strengths now. And so I want that for everybody. So, and then to appreciate everybody else's strengths. So that is our focus and our theme, if you will. And so we're having it again this year, second weekend, November 12th, 13th, and 14th in Charlotte, North Carolina. We know that people will be coming. We don't know how many, but we're going to roll out a virtual, something virtual, I think, as well. I don't, everything's changed, right, Vanessa, we with our events. But the neat thing about that event was that the relationships that happened there have matured and carried on this past year, that I've seen so many collaborations of our members with each other, either in their events, or their speaking, their writings, everything. It's been delightful, and it's like all career paths. So it doesn't matter what you do in dentistry, as long as you are a woman. And we do have some guys filming, so we do have John Stamper filming, so we let those guys in, and again, it makes me feel bad, because the guys, they're like, I want to be in there too, but we're going to figure something out like that. But, men are from Mars and women are from Venus, and we have to celebrate that, right? We have a little bit more. I mean, I don't think the guys want to be in a pajama party, but we're having one this year. And
some guys might want to be there. Just saying.
So we got it all. We're basically taking over a whole hotel. And it's in the middle of all these really great restaurants and shopping, and you just it's going to be fun. So I hope people will join us. If you want to, if you want to meet a do, or 100 do's, please join us.
So DoLifeRetreats.com is where you can find out more. DoLifeRetreats with an S at the end.com would be where you'd find out more, and you can get tickets. I love that you're talking about strengths, and that's always the theme. I would say that you're living your strength. In fact, you're living your truth. I think, I see you just shine when you talk about this topic and about helping women in general and all that. I love that you've really tapped into, something that you're leaving a mark here on our planet. And we thank you so much for that. So the retreat is November, did you say 12 through 14? We're thinking it's a couple days. Fabulous.
Yes, 12 it starts on Thursday morning. Yeah.
I've never been able to be there because it has butted up against another conference that I normally do, D-O. And so this year I'm going to do DEW with you. I'm going to not go to that conference. I cannot wait. Every year I've been like, I want to be there too. So I'm definitely going to be there, because what I see from it and what I hear from our colleagues who go is that you have built just a really strong, collaborative, wonderful community. And I just really want to encourage our listeners to be sure that they find out more about these different things that you're offering. A chance to write articles is just so valuable to so many speakers. So I'm going to do a quick run through on our websites and our emails real quick, and then I'm going to ask you if there's anything we haven't covered that you want to chat about. So to get with Ann, it's Ann Duffy, ANNEDUFFY, at dentalentrepreneur.com, or Ann Duffy at DEW.life. And then the websites are the same, do.life and dentalentrepreneur.com. And then the retreat would be at doliferetreats.com. And we can put that in our comments as well. I knew you and I would have no trouble finding something to chat about. I kind of cue it up as, let's talk for 5-10 minutes. And I think we've gone 45 now. We've got so many people that have hung with us. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you for your comments. And I think you're such a fascinating individual, and I think that's proof by all the different comments and the love that we're given here. because you've done so much for us, you've done so much in our industry, and continue to. And thank you so much for your giving heart. And I know I've said something like that already, but every time I think of you, I think about how you're just so dear. And thank you for being so giving. Is there anything we didn't chat about that we should have, or is there any closing thought you'd like to leave for us?
Well, I would like to say it's interesting. As you know, Dr. Rich Constantine spoke at your event, right? And I felt really cool about that because I think I got the wheels turning when he wrote an article. I asked him to write an article for us. So I think some of your readers, some of your listeners, when you write an article, sometimes that is a place to start for your talk. And so that's a very rich way to get started, either vice versa. But I thought that was a really cool thing when I was seeing him speak, it reminded me of the article that he had written. And I thought, so just think about that. Sometimes it just takes you that little nudge. And we have people that edit too. And we have ghostwriters. If you need help, we can help you do all that. So it's not all on you. And I just want to say thank you. I mean, the one thing, Vanessa, and I've had people tell me this so often, that I remind them of you. And it's such an honor for me to be in your company. That they say, you remind me of Vanessa Emerson and the heart that we each have. And I take that as such a compliment because, I mean, I don't know, maybe we've been through a lot of things and now we're leading people. We're trying to lead your movement of speakers and this movement that we have, both in Dental Entrepreneur and Dental Entrepreneur Women. And together, I feel like we can do so many great things. And I think we both know that it's not us, it's the people that are joining us that make it so special and so rewarding. And so it's not like work, I'll tell you. I mean, I have my days, and again, then I go back and I'll call you or I'll call somebody else and they'll walk me off the ledge or pull me out of the, it's going to be okay. Because, that's an entrepreneur. It is a total roller coaster. And it's a lot of fun, and it is a lot of fun, and it is the one true way to fulfill one's purpose, I believe. And I would say, don't ever give up on your dreams. If that's inside of you, you get to a point where it is your purpose, and we do get up. I get out of bed. I'm scared when I get out of bed. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that I just jump out and say, go, go, go. No, I put the covers over my head and say, oh God, I hope I can do it today. And I get out and I get started, and it always turns out to be a great day.
It does. And I just love that. I'm going to go back and listen to exactly how you said it, but the one true way to live your purpose, I think is what you said. I hadn't really thought about it that way. Thank you for leaving us with that, really something for me to ponder. And it really hit me hard when you said that this is true, because when you're doing something that you're super passionate about and love, which so many of our speakers are.
Yes.
It's not work. And it's so awesome to be able to be your own boss and to be able to do something that you love, where you can make it be, oops, sorry. They're telling me I'm talking too long. Let me get rid of that.
I know. Sorry.
I'm going to have to turn it down. Yeah, when you're doing something that you just love, and then on top of that, being able to be an entrepreneur and to be able to determine how you do that, I don't know that there's anything better. I personally don't plan to ever retire. Seriously.
Yes.
You're going to have to be like, they're going to have to be shuffle me off to the old folks home where I can't think anymore or something before I don't do this.
Another mantra, dues don't retire. I tell Linda Miles that, dues never retire, right?
Oh, yeah. Linda's a
Yeah.
good example of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we love what we do, and I know so many of you do as well. Love your work, and just want to invite you guys to reach out to Anne to find out more about how you can be involved in the wonderful things she's doing. Be sure and consider the Drew Retreat in November. I will see you there. And Anne, thanks again so much for being here today. We love you, we appreciate you, and thanks so much for being a friend to all of us in dentistry.
Well, thank you, Vanessa. It was my pleasure, my honor. And y'all have a great day. Stay safe and stay sane.
Awesome. See y'all. Thank you, Anne.
Bye, dear. Love you.